Today we are making these beautiful sachets that we are going to spritz with perfume and put around our drawers and in our closet. I am loving these. I ran into this beautiful fabric and I'm not sure what to do with it. So I thought maybe we would make a couple of sachets. All right, so let's make a couple of sachets. I have this beautiful fabric that is just absolutely amazing. And I thought maybe let's take a little piece instead of putting it back in the closet for another year or two, and let's go ahead and create something absolutely beautiful. So let's go ahead and put these on here. I'm going to use this extra piece, all my scraps from my junk journal, so nothing goes to waste. But let's make some sachets, shall we? And I'm not sure if I can get this to go through, but let's see if I can pin the fabric so that when I cut it, I am more confident that I'm getting the correct measurements to roughly be our hearts. And these hearts, no particular size, I just cut them out of cardstock, scrapbook cardstock. And now we're going to pin this on and see if we can cut around it to create some beautiful stuffed primitive hearts. We are going through multiple layers because I think I'm going to cut out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers at one time to complete our hearts. And again, I'm going through cardstock and I'm going through 6 layers with this beautiful lacy embroidery on top. And I just thought it would make the most divine project. Okay, so we have them pinned on, and these are not the good scissors, but let's see if I can get started with these scissors. And again, nothing goes to waste. I will be saving everything that I cut off of these. And I'm just going to put them into a smaller piece so that I can sit down and trim them nicer. So we'll get rid of our yardage that we have remaining. And we'll just take a look at these sachets. And I'm going to trim these out. I think that is going to be adorable. And again, some of them will just have light embroidery, and then there will be some with absolutely no embroidery, just the plain beige or off-white color. Oh, yes, so pretty. Okay, and we are back cutting out our beautiful sachet pieces. Again, I don't have my great scissors here, but I do have a nice pair, and we're going to go ahead and start trimming around our hearts, and then we will be turning them right sides together and sewing 2 at a time, leaving about a 2.5, 3-inch opening to turn them right sides out. These are just our little primitive stuffies that we're going to make. So excited. Okay, so we have some of them partially cut out here. Let's go ahead and match these up and sew them together, shall we? We're going to go ahead and use the pens that we have. We're just going to take off the paper and put 2 together at a time. And so look how absolutely stunning. Oh my goodness, how absolutely gorgeous. And we're going to put these right sides together. And we're going to sew these. And they do match up because, again, they are, when we did the paper, we folded the paper in half and we trimmed it. And that way both sides look the same. So now we're ready to go ahead and stitch around these. We'll set these aside and slowly stitch around these. But first, I want to go ahead and stick some pins so that our fabric sides don't move on us. And if we put them close enough in the center, we can leave the pins in while we complete the entire project. Okay, so I have 3 pins, and it would be best to change the thread over to white or pink or red, but in this case, white or off-white. And you can use white ribbon or rickrack, anything you have to go into them for a little topper. I'm going to take about an 8-inch piece of ribbon, cut it at my 8 inches, fold it in half, right sides out, and I'm going to put it in my heart near the top center, the inside, with the ribbon sticking out here. And we're going to go ahead and sew. Oopsie, we want to start over on a side so we can leave our 2.5, 3-inch opening. I'm just going to sew roughly a 1/4 inch all the way around. You can hand stitch this as well, slow stitch. If your machine will let you, it's nice to have a needle down position. And either go slow with a couple of stitches as you're manipulating the fabric, or needle down. You can stop, pick up the foot, pivot your fabric around, and continue. And you may want to do this a couple of times as you go around your circle, just to make it easier to do the heart shape. Remember, always needle down to pick up the foot and pivot. Sometimes it's stubborn. And this is where we want our approximate 3-inch opening. I'm going to do about a 2.5. And I like to back stitch right where my fingers are going to be going in and out to get those stitches done. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my heart and I'm going to either use the, oh my goodness, what are those scissors called? I'm going to make lots of little cuts, or if you have the, my mind just doesn't let me remember what they are called. The shredding, like the jagged edges. You can use those going all the way around your heart. Make sure you cut right down to the point. Don't go through it. And then just cut as you go. And this makes the fabric give a little so it's easier to turn right side out. And I'm just going to go all the way around. Remember, when you're cutting through that embroidery, it's really hard. It doesn't want to cut. So make sure you're going through the fabric up to, but not over your stitch lines. This is going to give the fabric a little give, so it will turn a lot easier. And since it is a heart, there's lots of curves, I'm just going to do this around the bulk of my heart, making sure that the bottom is also done well. Just go ahead and clip off the bottom. And now we'll take out our pins and we will stuff it. Because this is see-through fabric, we want to only use white stuffing. And I have a piece of scrap batting here left over from a quilt. You can see both sides still stuck on it. And I'm going to use the seam ripper to use and keep those pieces of scrap fabric. But we're going to go ahead and take the batting and we're going to give it a couple of cuts so that we have much smaller pieces to go into our heart. So you can just take some batting if you don't have small scraps already, which I do, and I'll grab the bag for the next heart and I'll show you. But you can use any scraps that you have or cotton stuffing. I like to use any fabric scraps that I'm not going to use on another project or leftover batting, because that gives me nice body. It reuses, upcycles, you're not throwing anything away. And my friends, this is polyester, and I don't have enough of these pieces to go together for a piece of batting, and I can't use them in my other crafts because I only use 100% cotton. So these are polyester, they're going in my nice sachet. Now I can put some nice perfumes on it. I can soak it. I can add the perfumes on the inside. But this time, we're just going to turn it right sides out and stuff it with the white. So I'm sticking my finger to the opposite side, pulling it through. Oh my goodness, I am already loving this so much. And there's my little tie, so I can hang it in my bathroom or in my closet, and I will spritz this with perfume from time to time just so it smells yummy. Or you can throw these in your drawers. That's always nice. When you open your drawer, your clothes always smell fresh when you have one of these inside. Now somehow that didn't get right in the center where I originally thought I had put it. But let's stuff this real quick, sew it up, and show you our primitive little stuffy that looks nice. I could paint if I wanted to. They are fun to create with, paint with, give away as a bow on top of a gift, or just spray with perfume, your favorite cologne, and put it somewhere where you can enjoy it. Okay, might have to search up a little bit more of this batting to fill it. The piece that I had was maybe a 2 foot by 1 foot, but it was on the thinner side than to medium maybe for the batting. And we're going to sew our heart together, and we have a nice, primitive, beautiful heart to hang up and spray with our perfumes. And we found a little bit more batting, so I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of strips in here to finish it up, and then we'll sew it up. Now, I recommend using a little hand stitching to sew up our hole, but I might just pop it under the sewing machine, show you how easy that is as well. If you're making these for yourself, you're using matching threads, it's okay to close them up as such. That is so pretty with the lace. Ah, I love it. Okay, so let's sew it up. Today we're making heart sachets. And when you get around the top, don't forget, you need to have your ribbon on the inside, and you want to just take it, fold it in half, right sides out, fold it inside of your heart. And I like having it right about in the center of the V. Make sure it is laying flat. Needle down, foot up, pivot, and continue around your heart. Ouch. Careful not to poke yourself. Here's my opening, want my 3 inches. Back stitch in the opening. And then if you're chain stitching, which I am, you can go ahead and put your next heart in. Maybe putting in your lace in prior to getting to that stage. It would be a little bit more friendly. Make sure it's laying flat. Make sure you don't distort your fabric. Valentine's, birthdays, anniversaries, baby showers, wedding showers. These make beautiful gifts or bows. All right, now we have sewn our project. We are ready to remove our pins, cut our threads, and make our cuts all the way around, especially where our ovals are. And that way it's so much easier to manipulate the fabric to turn it right side out. And right in the center of that heart, you want to make sure you go straight down inside of it, but not through those stitch lines, so that it'll turn out and be a nice, pointy V in the top of the heart. And when we get down to the bottom, we're going to trim off the bottom point up to our stitch line, but not through it. And that way it should turn very easy and be a beautiful point. And then we're going to stuff it with leftovers. Yay! So hit that comment button, my friends. Have you ever made these at home? And they're primitive because I am not being too professional on these. I'm having fun. I'm using my time between making quilts and just having fun. So let's turn this right side out. Then we will do the other two that we just sewed. Point your fingers into the points. You can also use the blunt part of your scissors. Like the scissors, close them. You've got a little bit rounded here. Don't go stabbing it through, but you can use that to push out your point. Okay, so I have all of my cut batting off of my 50 plus fabric bowl sides that I'm making for my bowl cozies. And we're going to go ahead and use that to stuff our beautiful lace hearts. So let's go ahead and stuff these just a little bit of scrap at a time. And this is 100% cotton batting that I'm now putting in. The first one I had enough polyester to finish. And I think this amount of batting should do probably 2 of the hearts. And again, these are just sachets, and I like to take these and put them around in my drawers and my closet, spritz them with some perfume or some, whatever your favorite smells are. You can even put some cinnamon sticks inside of these, however you want to make them smell good for your surroundings. And just little bit by little bit, we're stuffing in here. And again, scraps make the perfect stuffing, especially batting scraps. So if you don't have enough cotton or fiber fill, polyester fill to go in your stuffed critters, this is a great way to recycle, upcycle, use those scraps that we're not going to make a scrappy quilt or a scrappy project out of, and just use them for stuffing our primitive stuffies. And again, when you put white in white, that means you're better off. If I were to sell these, I might want the polyfill because they are thin fabric and they're white, but I am quite pleased and happy with these being the upcycle recycle. All right, so we're going to set this one down. We're going to whip stitch that sealed. So that will be a beautiful heart. We'll flatten it out more after I get this sewn up. And we're going to go ahead and fill the other two just the same. This one, my friends, I am in love with. Look how incredibly lacy that is. It comes right up through the center with this. We're just going to get thread and needle and whip stitch this closed, and we are going to have my favorite. What do you think? Is this your favorite? All right, so if we're having difficulty threading our beloved needle, first of all, on a needle, you want to know that on one side it's kind of flat, on the other side it's almost tilted in like a bowl, maybe like a little bevel. You also have these available, very, very cheap when you can find them in a sewing place. And we're going to just thread the thread right through the big old hole of this threader. We're going to grab the needle, pull it through, and now we're going to go ahead and slow stitch our hearts up. We're going to fold them over, make sure they look nice right on that beautiful little seam. I'm going to stick my needle in so that the tip is buried in the fold. And we are knotting our thread, twisting it, pulling it, got a nice little knot, and now we're going to sew our heart. and you want to bury your knot. And this is something, my friends, we can do in the family room with the family while they're entertained and watching TV. We can have our little slow stitch project. Or hey, make a couple of these, bring them to the waiting room at the doctor's office or getting your car fixed. And we can go ahead and be productive and enjoy ourselves. And I like to double thread and only leave the single thread there. That way it's a longer thread. So at times we have to play with our thread if we're going to have this long of a thread. Fun to hold, huh? Mm-hmm. And any way you're comfortable sewing this up is great. And I think the hearts with the most lace came out best. And again, before you stitch this up, you can throw some kitchen spices in it. Maybe some cinnamon, maybe some clove, whatever you like, the dried spices. Or do as I do and just spritz it with my favorite perfume or cologne ever so often. And I have something pretty and frilly. And anytime you can enjoy your senses at the same time, take advantage of doing that. All right, and the first one always goes slowest. So we've got about a third of this done. I'm just going to keep doing this. And this thread, I might need to switch it out on my second or third. It seems to be a little bit thicker than I usually use, and it wants to knot on me. And I'm trying to look through a camera and not poke my fingers at the same time. And again, you can look up online. There's different tutorials, whip stitches. Just want to try and get it consistent to where your thread is not puckering your material and that your seam, your stitches almost try to disappear on you. And the lace on the front really helps to hide my stitches as well. And my friends, if you haven't yet, please hit that like button. And I'd appreciate a comment. What is the last item you stuffed? When is the last time you picked up a thread and a needle? And what kind of crafty project do you have going on? I would love to hear. So send me a comment and give me a like. And my friends, we are back to the sewing machine soon. I also have a couple of quilts I need to put some binding on and a couple of quilts that I need to put on the long arm. So please hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you along with me. And not only the ocean quilt are we working on, but I am so excited. We are doing just a fast, easy, fun, bright, yellow, red, and blue quilt coming up. And I want to show you, if you need a quick turnaround on a quilt, a great gift giving idea. So we have, sorry, let me get the stitch. We have that coming up. And so hit that subscribe button so you don't miss. And looky, looky, I am gonna knot my thread. Let me see if I can get that buried a little bit. One more loop. All right. And there you have it. My friends, we are done. Let me show you how beautiful this looks. And my friends, my sachets are complete. So I am loving these. Just a little closure with the needle and thread after you cut them out, cut out a pattern, cut them out, pin them, sew them, nip them, turn them right side out, stuff them with some scrap batting, and you have some beautiful sachets with, look at this lace. I am loving this. Have a great day, my friends. Today, we are making beautiful sachets that we are going